Time to make a game. Oh, this is a tough day for me to work. There's a little number that is right. Where's my finger going? Right there. Progress every day. 150. 150 days in a row. This is day 150. Where some kind of progress has been made on this game on each of those days. And I had to work late. This isn't the best time for me to be doing this. I've got to get some laundry done. I got to cook some dinner. All that stuff has to happen tonight. And I got to fall asleep by about 11 o'clock. So time's a dwindling, and I'm already tired. But you know what? I have got my progress in when I was sick. I've got my progress in when I was tired. I've gotten it in when I was drunk. Multiple times drunk. And I should be ashamed of this, but I'm proud. Before a day that I went to a memorial service for someone who was deceased, I got my progress in. I did it. I did it because it's not disrespectful to that person to follow up on something else that's important to you on the same day. If somebody says it's wrong, I'm sorry. My values are set up a certain way. So I'm going to do something, and it will be actual progress, but it's not going to be a full session. It's going to be a quick session. I'm also going to follow the Mr. Meeseeks rule, which is whatever task I set out for myself during this session must be done before I can release myself from the session. So here it is. I'm choosing something appropriately small in scope, but still significant. Face holes. Faces, they need holes for the eyes. Eye holes. What do you call your eye holes? Hey, you know what? Your eyes are made of multiple parts to them. I think eye socket might be the term you would use. My rig has got multiple parts to it. Definitely does, but not as many as the human face does. It's a simplified representation of the human face, but there are some things there. So, as I'm looking over this kind of very oversimplified representation of what my rig can do. There's like total rectangles in here. I've realized that one part of the functionality is that I need is hard to see with these rectangles. And it's absolutely going to be hard for you to see even this part that I'm demoing. But basically, when I change the emotion, the parts of the face are put together from this test texture. There's the top half of the head, there's the bottom part of the head. Each emotion has a top and a bottom part. Now this bottom part, I should say, I'm changing the emotion. One of 11 emotions that I've defined as being like my basic palette of emotions for characters. Okay? So there's neutral, afraid, amused, angry, confused, evil, happy, irritated, sad, suspicious, thinking. Those, from my experience, are quite sufficient, representing the things that you need inside of a story to happen. So the top half and bottom half of the face part, the head part, can be set to an emotion. Now when the character is talking, when the viseme is set to something besides rest, which is the mouth being closed, it sort of overrides the artwork that was used to express the emotion, and instead it'll show the mouth that's appropriate for that whatever sound is being made by the mouth. It's called a viseme. The visual expression of a sound your mouth makes is called a viseme. And these visemes, not to be confused with phoneme. Phoneme is like the audio part of a sound. So if you say phony, like there's a f sound, that's a phoneme. There's a o sound, n, e. All those little utterances. They are phonemes, but how that's expressed visually, that's a viseme. Okay, so when I have one of the visemes selected for the face, it'll override the emotional representation of the lower half of the face. Not half, maybe 3/5 of the face, 2/5 of the face. So that is that. And then the last part of the rig is the eyes, and that's the part I need to do. So right now I'm correctly drawing some parts behind the head graphic that represent the eyes. There's a backing, which is like the whites of your eyes, and there's the irises that go on top of the backing, which is like the dark parts of your eyes, and then there's the eyelids, which are one last image or asset that gets put on top of the irises. So it's backing, irises. I'm gonna call them whites. It's whites. Don't not be confused with some any kind of racial statement. The whites are behind everything. The whites are behind the dark parts on the eye. No, that sounds extra bad. The whites of your eyes are behind the irises, and the irises are behind the lids. But none of that's visible because I have a top part of the head that has no eye holes. As soon as I put the eye holes in, I'll be able to see the placement of the whites, the irises, and the lids, and I can add in some inspector properties that allow me to position those. So that's what I'm going to do in this session. I'm going to do as fast as I can. I'm going to do as fast as I can without cutting corners, because I need to get on to a few other things this night, and then I got to chill a little bit. Mr. Meeseeks has to die later tonight. And if Chelsea or anybody who's a fan of the audio is worrying about like when are we going to get back to the audio, it's coming. I just need like a proper session. This is not a proper session. This is a mini session. Got to get through it. It's small little task to get done. Okay. Moving on to actual workity work. So the first thing that occurs to me is I want to have some inspector settings that I can use for the positioning of this. Oh, I already do have some. There's X offset. Okay, I'll need something else though. Okay, so let's have float for iris offset X, iris offset Y. These ones I'd like to add a range to them. So my idea is that if the iris is all the way to -1, or kind of like -100%, it will be as far left as it can be represented inside of the eye area without it sort of going blank there, like rolling too far left, that the iris just leaves the visible area. If it's all the way to 1, then it's all the way to the right. Similarly, for Y, -1 means all the way to the top. You know, you're kind of rolling your eyes a little bit all the way up the top, but not so far that they go white like some crazy horror movie scene. No, we're not going to do that. So these will end up getting normalized so that the position of the iris will always stay inside of the acceptable bounds of travel. I don't want the eyes to go blank and white. I want the irises to always be visible inside of them, assuming that the lids aren't closed. That's another thing. So for that to work, I need to have a little bit of definition about the range of pixel movement expressed by this -1 to 1. So let's call this public int iris travel width. Okay. So these will be pixel values. I do kind of want to group these together a little bit. So this set of inspector values, was it header? Header. Call this what do I want to call this? What are these? What is this group? These are the things that are the variables that affect the immediate animation, the active animation, everything else is kind of like a one-time setting. These are dynamic settings. Is that a good name for it? Okay, let's call it dynamic settings. And let's call these other ones static settings. That might be the correct way to do it. The idea being that these settings down here you would set just one time once you figure out for your rig where everything's got to be, and the dynamic settings you would just set them live while you were actually animating while the game was playing. I'll leave those two headings there for now. That kind of makes sense to me. Okay, another one that's like that is public float lids open. There's 1F lids open amount. And this one will have the range go from 0, where it's completely closed, to 1, where it's completely open. Like in some ways, like extremely surprised, even just like a little bit crazy. Like you can't see the lids at all. Yeah, my glasses are kind of messing up all my eye acting, but yeah. So that's what that range is. So that also needs like some definition of what of where the lids are going to be at. So I'm going to do just do lids travel height. See if I can make it as simple as that. Okay. So in order for me to kind of test this out and actually see what I'm doing, I need my graphic to have eye holes in it. So right now it's completely opaque, so I'm going to punch out 2 eye holes in the graphic. So when I say the graphic, I mean this texture here called face sheet test. I'll just redo it a little bit. It won't be hard. I think I'll have to put in like some stub stuff over here too. Let me just double check. Do I have this? 1024? I do. Cool. So I'll only mess up neutral. I don't need to mess it all up. So let's do fill of blue stroke. Let's make it like a wider stroke. And okay, let's try that. So I'll go with I put these little guides here so it wouldn't be too hard to have my eyes be centered. But let's see if it's as helpful as I think it will be. Okay, there's one. I suppose I could just duplicate that. Then we'll just punch out the middle. Oh, I gotta rasterize. Rasterize. You ever have a doubt on whether something should be a vector or a raster? When in doubt, keep it vector. Because you can always go to raster from vector, but you can't go from raster to vector, at least not very well. Alright. Punch out the eye, and then let's take it out of the background. That means I gotta unlock it. Alright, now I have transparency, but let me do the other eye. What? Alright. Delete that. Delete that. Okay. Now I gotta make some irises. So let me think about this. Let me see what did I put down here. I don't know if my guides are that great. Yeah. Alright, let me make another copy of these so I can kind of use them to position my irises. Okay. Okay. So then let's do green eyes. I don't see green eyes that often. Okay. There's one iris. That one's a little off center, so I will fix it. Okay. Then take these guys. Oh, I know what else I gotta do. I got to punch out this all this opacity. Opacity is not helping me, so let me hide that, and there we go. Alright, so then we take these dudes again, move them down so I can use them to kind of reference where I want my lids to be. Ah, stop it. Okay. Lids are pretty easy. In fact, I could just do like the completely shut case, which is, and let me make a different color than that. That will look less stupid. Gradient might be nice. Why not? That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I'm gonna do little screechy scrapey noises with my voice. Because everyone loves that. Alright. I'm gonna delete this part here. I'm an enemy of opacity. Alright. I no longer need these. So I just delete them. Okay. Now I'm thinking if I flatten the image, it's gonna ruin my transparent areas. So I think instead I'll just merge all those together. Merge layers and see if that worked. Okay, so I should have whites here. White power. The eye blanks, the whites of the eyes. And then I have the irises here. And then lids. So that's the order they go in as well. Whites of the eyes, irises, lids. That's how they will appear. And then on top of that, it's going to be the top part of this head with transparent bits for all the things I just mentioned for the eyes to show through. With all that, I'm going to save the PNG. This should be the one that's live in the assets directory. Okay, so I can see by my thumbnail that it did update. I'm going to set the motion to neutral because that's the one that's got the little bit there. Let's set the rest. Okay, so I'm seeing some stuff there. Let me set the eyes offset way off to the side so I can just kind of eyeball it a little more clearly. 2, 3. Okay, that's not a bad placement. Looks like I need to come down a little bit on the eye offset. Say 75. That might be it right there. And just take this guy out. Yeah, a little bit lower. Alright, so there's the lids. And everything's there. Let me see if I can do the lids first. So what am I looking at calculating? There's going to be some kind of Y offset. So right now it's showing like in the all the way closed position. So I think it's as simple as let the initial position be closed and subtract from the Y value of it up to lid's travel height, but have it be like a scaled value with where you take between 0 and 100% of lid's travel height and subtract it from the Y position of the lids. So let me just start out with like a kind of a test idea there. I haven't actually written any code yet to move the lids, so let me do that next. Okay. So let's see. Let's add some comments here. Drop eyes. What is the top of head? These comments actually will help me later. Okay. This part up here. Get screen position for face. So from rect, head top rect, emotion. Okay, so this I can put. It's unclear to me why this even works. Oh, because I didn't use from rect here. Okay, let me move this with the code it goes with. Okay, that makes sense. But I kind of like the idea of not assigning values to from rect and just kind of inlining this. Here I will use it because it's got this useful assign here. Okay, cool. If at some point I can put these off in separate functions, but it's kind of nice to work with them all in one place, to be honest. Okay, so the eyes. So this is y minus lid offset. And say int lid offset equals math f lerp. Lerp's quite useful. 0 f to what do I call it? Lid's travel height. And then we'll use the ratio from lid's open amount. And then we've got some casting to do. I can do that pretty simple. There. So let me see how well that does. Alright, build for me. Build for me. You know what, while it's building, I'm gonna run and get my phone. Just hold on. Just stop. I'll be right back. It'll be so fast. Alright. Just want to make sure I see any texts that are sent to me. Okay, it must have finished building by now. So if I say what? I don't like that. You're like not doing anything. Did it fail to build? Is that what happened? It did. It failed to build. 46 errors, that's way too many errors. Wait, I'm gonna clear that, see if I can hide them. Okay. So where's the fucking error, huh? And why didn't the IDE tell me that there was an error? Why did it make me do the embarrassing thing of, yeah, you could have told me that before, you stupid IDE. We need like an extra bam. Is that it? Yes. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, there we go. Now will you build? Instead of embarrassing me in front of all 0 people. That's not true. There's like at least 5 people that will eventually watch this, and I am pretty embarrassed. Okay. Build. There you build. Build. Go to do the build. Do the build. Come on. Alright. So. What? Let's travel height is 50. Alright, now I gotta go to the debugger. See what's up. See what's going on. Good thing I'm already debugging. Let me try that. Okay. So let's open them out. There's 1. Lid's travel height 50. Lid offset I expect to be 50. Is it 50? It's 50. Oh, no? Well, here I go. I mean, this seems right to me. So what's up? So it would have been negative 48, but instead with offset it'll be negative 98. Why would that not be visible? Oh, because the first one is a blank. I just applied it to the wrong thing. That's all. That's all. Pretty straightforward. I forgot. Even after I explained the drawing order 3 times, unnecessarily, to people that weren't listening, when I should have just explained it to myself in a way that I paid attention to. The lid is drawn last. Here's the lid. That's what the offset should apply to. So now it's going to do something. It may not do the right thing, but it'll do something now. That's my prediction. Come on, come on. Alright, so that's 100% open. Okay. So that's 50% open. So I've got the range a little bit screwy. But yeah, so that's eyelets. That's basically eyelets. Let me fix the height on the travel. This is not important right here, by the way. This is just kind of like a, because this is not like final graphics. When I bring in the actual rig graphics, and these settings would be different. So if I say 70 is all the way up. Oh, that's like too far. So let's see, 20, 25, 30, 32. You can just barely see it. This is a good part, a good spot right here. Okay, there we go. So there is the 100% open. Got 1, and I go down to 50. And yeah, it's right in the middle, right at 50%. I go to 0, and it's all the way closed. Perfect. That part of the code's working. So the next thing is the iris travel. So iris travel height. I'm going to start out with some numbers. 33, and width. I don't know. Let's say 30. Let's say 35, and because these look a little bit ovular. They're not perfect circles. Okay, so I'll start with those, and I'll make some similar code. Okay, so let me put the declarations closest to the thing that actually uses them, and we'll say draw. Alright, whites. irises. Draw lids. Okay. So int iris offset x. Did I already use that? 0. Let me just see what happens. I did use that already. Okay. Let's do like, how about iris x equals x plus int math f warp. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier. So the lowest value is going to be let's see, iris travel width divided by 2. If I say divided by -2, then that makes it like negative direction. So if I say second one divided by 2, that's the maximum value. And I need to supply a value here that's between 0 and 1. But my actual range of the value that I'm using is between -1 and 1. So I've got to normalize that a little bit. So I'll say iris offset x plus 1 to make a number between 0 and 2. And then I'll divide that by 2. So the end result of this is going to be a number between 0 and 1. So if I go all the way to -1, it'll be at 0. If I go all the way to 1, it'll be at 2. Okay, so then let's make this a float so I don't kind of truncate it in a bad way. Same here. Okay. And I kind of like to just move these together. No reason. Okay, do the same thing for the y value. Iris x, iris y. Okay. Well, that might do something interesting right away. It's probably going to have a bug in it. So I'm noticing like my level of correctness here, and it's down 20%. If I'm completely fresh, you know, just getting off work after just 8 hours instead of, you know, 9.5 or whatever, my accuracy is better. But I don't feel that accurate right now. So there's about a 33% chance that this works with no bugs right out of the gate. Waiting for that delayed build annoys me. It might actually be working, but it doesn't show the spinner until wait, what's it? There, it's moving. It's moving. It's moving. Okay. That code is correct. This code is correct. So then there's this challenge of the settings. Like if I've been through this before. Since eyes are like circular or ovular, actually they're not just straight ovals. It would be a lot easier if they were. If you go up to a corner, it's gone. So it's because it's up in this little corner rectangle thing. So to get past that, I could do other things that are sort of more advanced, but it's good enough in my mind to just bring back the amount of travel that's allowed. So if I go 25, see, suddenly I'm back into visible range. I'll push it a little bit on the width, so it looks like I go like maybe 32. Okay, so now I can do that, and it's a little bit, just a little bit too much, but it's not bad. So the trade-off is the more I bring it in, the less range I have to move it off to the left when it's out here. But it's not doing bad there. See, so notice like I go all the way up, it's in a little bit too far. I go all the way down, it's in a little too far. If I go in the middle, it's actually pretty close to ideal, but I think I'll hedge my bets a little bit, and I'll bring the width in just a little bit more. See, that's still pretty good. And this is sort of a pointless exercise, except to just kind of prove that it won't be hard to adjust these things. So yeah, that one's also done. Lid's coming down, and hey, that was everything I set out to do. I'm done in 42 minutes here. Not bad. Not bad for a tired brain. So eyes work. Eye animation works. These are properties I'm saying in the inspector, but they can also easily be set programmatically. And you can't see it yet because the rig's not here. Not the full, all the assets that look like an actual face. They're not here yet to demonstrate well, but everything's here to show the correct parts in the rig, to show animation, like I've done in the past for other productions. So it's a good little chunk of work, a nice tidy little piece of progress. I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to call this my victory. I'm going to stop the stream. For anyone that didn't join me, I forgive you. For anyone that didn't even know who I was, I also forgive you. You shouldn't be obliged to know who I am or what I'm saying or that I'm here. Frankly, I'm not bothered by it. You might have been like really annoying if you came on my stream and I was trying to work and you were just like kind of peppering me with different comments. So yeah, I wanted to work on this by myself with nobody here. Damn it. Not really. I like it when people show up. Alright, bye.